Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. I'd like to start this video with an apology. I feel at least partly responsible for the fact that you can't buy this watch, and it's an awesome watch. I ask a lot of questions in my videos, but I don't often give definitive answers. And this is by far the best dive watch you can buy for $350, or at least it would be if you could actually buy it. It is of course a Helm, specifically the Vanuatu in titanium. Now this is the fourth Helm that I have reviewed on the channel, but the first in many years, and I can't help but feel that my glowing reviews of the Vanuatu and Wearability in particular 4 years ago, and my inclusion of them in several top 5 microbrand videos, only added to the hype surrounding the brand and made the watches even harder to obtain. But of course I am not solely responsible. Helm are also responsible. They are responsible because they make amazing watches and they don't mark them up with ridiculous profits. And they're responsible because they don't seem to have increased their modest annual output of units despite increased demand over the last couple of years. I have heard of people being number 2,500 and something on a wait list for Helm. In fact, if you are on one of their wait lists, please leave me a comment and I will pin the one with the highest figure. Indeed, the waitlist has become so large now that San Martin make a Helm homage. I think only Zelos can share that dubious honour of being a micro brand that has been copied by a Chinese brand. And there are even people on YouTube suggesting that you skip the waitlist and buy the San Martin. Don't do it. I'm normally all over homage watches, but do not buy a $250 homage of a $350 watch. You will only be disappointed if you do. So how did I get my hands on this best of the best Helm then? Well, rather sadly, it is only on loan to me by a chap from Wales called Hywel. Thank you, Hywel. He was patient, made it to the top of the list and got Matt from Helm to send the watch directly to me for appeal and reveal. So today we all get to find out what it's like to unbox a Helm, even if it's somebody else's Helm. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. Look, to be clear, I'm not having a go at Matt or Helm here or the way he runs his business. There's no false scarcity, and as I said, he hasn't jacked up the prices. I believe it's still a one-man operation, and there's only so many watches one man can sell in a year, so many watches one man can pack in a year. Check out the detail here, handwritten top, because it is, oddly enough, the top. No packing peanuts, no plastic bags here. We have a custom fitted piece of cardboard designed to locate and situate the Helm box. Now it has been some time since I unboxed one of these, so let's see if anything has changed with the contents here. All right, let's pop the top. So this Vanuatu titanium is $350, right? That is the price of a King Samurai or King Turtle. Do you think you would get a handwritten note, "Dear Hywel, thank you and all the best"? Do you think you would get a handwritten note from the CEO, the owner of Seiko, when you buy one of their watches for $350? I don't think so. That hasn't changed. I'm delighted to see that hasn't changed. They really are a special company, Helm. That's why I recommended their watches so strongly in the first place. What have we got here? We have got instruction manuals, I guess, stickers, again, handwritten, tested. These are ISO rated and they are tested by Matt, tested to 37.5 bar. It's only rated to 300 meters, so 30 bar, tested to 37.5 bar for 2 hours, followed by that for 1 hour. Dated test, serial number, international warranty, Vanuatu. Absolutely incredible that they can still do all of this for $350 plus shipping. Plus shipping, they do sting you 35 bucks for international shipping, 10% of the cost of the watch, but hey, when you're getting all of that, I think it is perfectly reasonable. Let's check out the Vanuatu, a nice Helm polishing cloth as well. Here we are, Vanuatu on a Bond NATO by the looks of things, and that engineer bracelet. But my goodness, yes indeed, it's lighter than I remember because it's titanium. This little bag contains 3 extra spring bars, the best spring bars in the business, and 2 extra screw links for the bracelet. Again, just incredible for a $350 watch. Okay, a couple of stickers for us here today. I'm not particularly interested in NATO, so let's get rid of the NATO. It does seem like a reasonably high quality one. with decent hardware here, brushed as well. Not sure if it's titanium though. Couple of stickers for us, one on the case back today. Lovely deep etched Helm signature case back, and one covering the dial today also. There we go. Just how I remember it, but a bit lighter than I remember it. Now this is Seiko NX35 powered, nothing fancy about the movement, that's for sure. Give it a wind and it should fire into life. Colour match date wheel down there at 6 o'clock. Now this has definitely more than a whiff of Zin about it, specifically the Zin U1. Wouldn't necessarily call it a homage. If I did, I would have to call that San Martin that I showed you the intro a homage of a homage. Now the head of the watch was noticeably lighter than before, not as noticeably lighter as this bracelet though. The Helm engineer was always a bit of a beast in titanium. Yeah, this doesn't weigh very much. In fact, let's get it on the scales. 77 grams for the bracelet. Almost the same, 73 grams for the head of the watch. So the maximum this is going to weigh is 150 grams. Let's get rid of the last of these stickers then. Do you know what? I think the reason that this bracelet is so light is because that clasp is made of titanium as well. A lot of companies will use stainless steel because it's cheaper and because it is more durable long term. But it's nice to see that Helm have gone to the trouble of making their own clasp, heaps of micro adjust there as well, and made of tie. All right, let's get it sized and let's get it set. So dimensions for this titanium Vanuatu are identical to the stainless steel one, apart from one of them fairly obviously, those being 42mm across the case, 43mm across the bezel. So I'm going to call this one a 43 today. Effectively, that's what it looks like on your wrist anyway. 13.6mm thick with a 50mm lug to lug, but drilled lugs as you can see. No problem swapping it out from that one-piece Zulu to this engineer titanium bracelet. 22mm lug width. There is a taper down to 20, back up to 23 for the titanium clasp. Sized up for me, 7-inch wrist. I removed 4 of those links, so I think 8-inch plus no problem at all. 136 grams. I checked back on my original Vanuatu review. Sized up for me then, the steel Vanuatu was 200 grams, so you're saving a chunk of weight by the shift to titanium. And it is grade 2 titanium case, crown, bezel and full grade 2 titanium bracelet. I don't believe there is any form of coating on here though, so it will scratch and it will scuff worse than stainless steel. So there is definitely going to be one moan and niggle coming up a bit later on. Screw down crown, 300 meters of water resistance, ISO 6425 as discussed. Flat sapphire with anti-reflective undercoating. Perhaps it could have done with a few more. We have a brushed, circular brush ceramic bezel insert with lume. I will show you that shortly. Now, titanium bezels, you can hear that. I've moved my microphone and you can still hear that, I'm sure. Titanium bezels usually not quite as snicky as stainless steel. This one, I gotta say, does okay for itself. There is just a touch of bounce from it, just a touch of bounce, but not too bad. 5-link engineer then in full titanium, effectively with female end links because of the structure of this one. Screw lengths, no problem, they're big chunky screws, and that clasp is a cracker. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 micro adjust holes. You will absolutely get a good fit with this one. It's identical to the stainless steel one from previous models, and it is proper titanium underneath as well. Fantastic. Case back is also made of grade 2 titanium, screw on, 300 meters as discussed. Spec sheet around the outer edge, including that ISO rating, and it is nice and deeply etched. Dial hands, etc. I assume carried over from the stainless steel model, just printed on, very Zin-like, big blocky rectangular handset. Nice touch of orange though on that needle second hand with lollipop. You notice those little orange pips applied next to those big blocky either square or rectangles that are the hour markers on this one. Triangulated one up there at the 12 o'clock. The Helm logo printed in a subtle grey above the pinion. Divers 300 meters with that all important apostrophe, automatic, and then TI beneath that. Above the colour match date complication at the 6 o'clock. It's pretty simple, but it does the job that it is supposed to do. That is, be legible from all angles and from pretty good distances as well. The loom has always been a standout on Helm watches. BGW9 on the bulk of the watch, so the hands, the indices, and that loomed ceramic bezel insert. There's just a touch of orange coloured loom on those little cabochons, on those little markers around the outer edge of the dial. But I can tell you how good it is in isolation. Let's compare it to the SKX. Seiko's Lumibright on the SKX looks pretty good initially, but as you can see, after a couple of minutes, it's beginning to fade, whereas the Helm on the left is not fading at all. End of the 20 minutes. Seiko's looking a little bit patchy, Helm looking much stronger. Once again, awesome for a $350 diver. On wrist, again, incredibly legible, this one, white on black, and those big, blocky, childlike hands. And indices really do a job effectively. It looks like a big watch, doesn't necessarily feel like one because at 136 grams, it weighs kind of where a 38 or 39mm stainless steel watch would be. Overhead legibility, again, fantastic. Big watch, big dial, big handset, great colours, no problem. Outside natural light, great colours on this one, just white, black with a touch of orange. I do like how the big blocky hands have black surrounds and black centres as well, kind of floating on top of that matte black dial. You do get a bit of bounce back because it's flat sapphire crystal, but it's not a massive problem. And all brushed titanium surfaces. The finish on those is pretty simple, but then again, this is an out-and-out tool watch, so it should be. And on wrist, clearly the switch to titanium has taken a chunk of weight out of this watch, but it is still a big and chunky dive watch, and no mistake, it still has plenty of visual presence, as you can see. Looking down the watch, 50mm lug to lug is probably on my personal upper limits, and yeah, quite a slab side to this one also. Pocket shot to finish, it's a great looking watch, this one. Such a clean design. As I said, there's a little bit of Zin influence for sure, but that is no bad thing when it looks this good. Moans and niggles, well, as intimated earlier on, the switch to titanium means this one is going to scuff, it's going to scratch, it's going to look rattier quicker than it would be if you opted for the stainless steel version. So depending on how you wear your watches, if that's something that is going to bother you, then maybe stick to the stainless steel. But this watch begs to be beaten up, I think. That's kind of what the whole Helm philosophy is. They are out and out rugged tool watches. The movement behind that case back is pretty ordinary as well. It's an unregulated NH35. You could get anywhere between -20 and +40 seconds per day variance, so don't expect it to be super accurate straight out of the box. And in previous Helm reviews, particularly the Vanuatu one, the word that I kept using was overbuilt. The stainless steel version at 200 grams just felt so big and chunky. This one doesn't feel nearly as overbuilt. And it's the bracelet. The switch to titanium plus those 5 links, it does feel much lighter because it is much lighter, so you don't get that feeling of solidity and heft that you did with the stainless steel version. But obviously the biggest moan with this one is you can't buy one today. You can't just click on the link in the description, pop one in your cart, give them your credit card details and buy it. There is going to be a fairly lengthy wait, I believe 12 to 18 months plus for one of these. But if you like what you see here today, and frankly, how could you not like what you see here today, I suggest you stick your name on that waiting list and then forget about it, and then rejoice when you get the email from Matt in 18 months time, because your patience will have rewarded you with one of the best watches you can buy for less than $500 without a shadow of a doubt. So there you have it. Thanks again, Hywel. A cracking big watch if you ever make it to the top of the list. If you aren't patient enough for that, then I'd suggest a King Turtle or a King Samurai for that instant fix. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again in a future video.